This is Ray.
And this is Andy.
And this is FDS Local Sports Update.
What's up, Ray?
Andy, where were you last week?
I was in Toronto, trying to make enough money to donate my paycheck like I promised.
Yeah,
that's a different show.
That's a different show. You're going to have to tune in to the FDS CFL show, and you'll hear how Andy has to give up his whole paycheck.
Man.
So Jeannie sat in for you last week, Jeannie B., and our ratings went through the roof.
That's what I heard. She did a fine job.
Our website's getting tons of hits, and we're getting all kinds of compliments about the fact that she's easier on the eyes than you.
Absolutely. My confidence level's taking a ton of hits, too. Basically, there's a lot of people out there that don't want to see my face this week. I apologize.
All right. Well, listen, we got lots of topics to talk about this week. I'm going to get us started off with our favorite topic, and that's the Maritime Football League, Andy.
Yep.
I went to the Mustangs-Islanders game here at Rocky Stone on the weekend. What an unbelievable football game. I had to leave at halftime, and boy, I wish I could have stayed for the full game, because wait till I tell you about some of these stats. In the very first half, these two teams traded the end zone back and forth all day. I'm going to talk about the final score in a few minutes, but before I do that, there were two amazing plays made by the Moncton Mustangs, and it was these plays that I think were the difference in this ball game. The first was after a Mustang score, they lined up and did a short kick. Okay, the kick went about 5 to 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. Or the receiving line, and a Mustangs player tipped the ball in the air. Another player received it and took it for the length of the field for a touchdown.
Woo! All right.
What a play. It was unbelievable to see it. I was watching it on the benches. I'll talk to you about the benches in a second. The second play was after a Islanders touchdown. They're kicking the ball back to the Mustangs. The Mustangs received the ball and ran the ball for the length of the field for another special teams touchdown.
Wow.
It was those two plays that are going to come back and haunt the Islanders in this game. But outside that, I have to tell you, Brennan Davis is the real deal at quarterback.
Yeah, you've been telling me about that. I really wish I could have seen the game. I was only landing back in Moncton, I think 1 hour after the start, so making my way into Moncton wasn't going to work. But I've been wondering who this guy is that's suddenly playing quarterback for the Island Mariners and putting up points like crazy. Well,
they were putting up points like crazy. We all know Dan Comfort is one of the premier quarterbacks in this league.
Yep.
Between these two quarterbacks, Andy, they put 17 touchdowns on the board. 17 touchdowns were scored in this football game.
Wow. Okay.
It was a crazy day. Now, Moncton ended up winning this ball game. And again, I wish I was there for the second half, but the final score in this game was 66-56.
Wow. Well, you're right. You take those two special teams touchdowns out of there, and maybe the outcome's different.
Dan Comfort passed for 4 touchdowns, also ran for a touchdown. And Brendan Davis that I was talking about, he threw for 6 touchdowns and ran for a touchdown. So huge production by these quarterbacks. There was a couple other big players that I need to talk to you about. On the Mustangs, their running back, they had number 7, Alex Bullen, in the game. He had 28 carries, 208 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So great game by him.
Job.
On the receiving side of things, Leif Henriks had 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. Leslie Green had a touchdown with 93 yards receiving. Cam Morley had a big day for the Mustangs. He had a touchdown. He had a receiving touchdown, plus he had a special teams touchdown as well. So I'm telling you, these two teams, it was a very entertaining game. They put a lot of points up on the board, and I can't wait to talk to you about the next games coming up in the semifinals.
Awesome.
Because it really was an unbelievable game. Now, here's a real interesting fact about this game. So I'm on the PEI sideline. Taking footage, which you may be seeing in this video right now, depending on what our producer has done. But if you're watching this video, I was taking video shots of the Islanders play, the quarterback. I want to get pictures of our buddy Donnie Mitchell. I want to get a few, Richard Lush, the running back. And one of the coaches had the audacity to come up to me and kick me off the sideline, Andy.
I wish you had gotten footage of that.
I should have rolled my camera on that. She asked me what I was doing there. I told her I introduced myself as Ray Dunn from First Down Sports. She said, well, are you a Charlottetown podcast or a Moncton podcast? I said, a Moncton podcast. I live right around the corner. She says, well, I need you to leave our sideline.
All right.
So listen, Islanders, a little bit more friendship with the First Down Sports team. We would much appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to Donnie Mitchell, see if he can smooth things over. We weren't trying to pick up on any plays, any signals, anything like that. So
we're non-biased reporters. Biased.
That's right.
All right, that's your Mustangs Islanders game. Again, 66-56. Big scoring game. What happened with the St. John Wanderers and the Halifax Harbor Hawks?
Let's find out. So this one was actually in St. John. Now, Coach Jowdry, who we've talked to before, he had to miss this game because he's involved in the under-16 team that we'll get into a little bit later. But so offensive coordinator Mike McGarvey, I believe, or Mike McGarvey. Yeah, so
McGarvey.
He took the reins as the coach of the game. It was actually 44-34 for St. John over Halifax. So that's actually pretty close score.
That's pretty close.
Considering Halifax, I assume, still doesn't have their quarterback, right? In fact, nobody's ever left us a comment and told us who their quarterback even is.
We've reached out. We've made contact. We haven't heard back. It's a big-time secret what's going on in Halifax.
Yeah, exactly. This is the last game of the season, and we still haven't figured out what was going on. But anyway, the St. John quarterback, Galecki, had another strong game. He had 5 total touchdowns. He threw 4 and also ran for 1. It was almost like he was playing in that Mustangs-Mariners game, right?
He must have been, yeah.
Putting up video game numbers here. All 4 of his touchdown passes were to Nick Binkowski. And Tyler Curnew. Tyler Curnew. First time I'm hearing his name. He ran another touchdown. It was a big, strong 15-yard run, and he had a touchdown as well. Halifax pounced early on a couple of turnovers and were up 14-3 early. But the Wanderers' offense took over, and the defense tightened up to finish the game out. Halifax scored on the last play to make it a 10-point game. Okay, so maybe it wasn't as close as it as it looks here, but hats off to them. Sounds like a great game. But yeah, we're heading into the playoffs now.
Heading into the playoffs,
and I think it's pretty obvious who the top two teams are. So we'll see how this plays out.
You say that, but I have to tell you, watching PEI, who knows what can happen in that game this Sunday?
Yeah, this quarterback, we don't know what's going on here. But it sounds like PEI is taking the Hamilton Ticats approach right now, and it's just outscore.
Well, let me tell you about the semis. So the semi game's coming up this weekend. You have Halifax visiting St. John at 4 p.m. in St. John, and you have the Island Mariners back in Moncton taking on the Moncton Mustangs Saturday at 4 p.m. at Rocky Stone Field. First Down Sports will be there.
We will be there.
And Andy, I got a couple stats for you. You folks that like football and entertaining high-scoring games, you have to get out to this game. Listen to this. In 2 games played between these two teams, Moncton has outscored PEI by 109-85. That's 195 points by these two teams in 2 games.
That's almost the combined age of Donnie Mitchell and our buddy Mark.
Mark Crandall.
Yeah. I'm just kidding, guys. That was a joke.
It's not that far off. Yeah. But I will tell you, this is going to be a very entertaining game. From the Moncton perspective, they're going to have Aubrey Ellis back in the game. Number 34 is going to have to run that rock, and he's going to have to, eat the clock as much as possible, get that clock running. And PEI, their number 1 job is going to be to stop Aubrey Ellis, number 34. Yep. So it's going to be real interesting to see how that game goes this weekend.
Yeah, and I mean, if they manage to stop Aubrey Ellis, we're going to be in attendance. We like a nice, exciting game. If the 2 quarterbacks just want to air it out all day again, I'm all for that.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
We'll be there.
All right.
Now, why don't we move on to that game Coach Jowdry was involved in? So
Okay.
the U16 New Brunswick versus Nova Scotia game was happening, and of course, Coach Jowdry of St. John is the coach there. Also, a buddy of ours, Ray Perkin, is involved in that. I believe he's special teams coordinator, and he may hold another position there as well. But he was involved in this game. New Brunswick won this game 25-10. Good job, fellas. Team New Brunswick defense was unreal, racking up a few sacks and not allowing Nova Scotia to mount any kind of drive until the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter. So they pretty much controlled it the entire way. Reed McKay, who's from the Fredericton area, scored a defensive touchdown on a fumble recovery. And on the next play from scrimmage, after Caleb Tremblay, who's also from Fredericton, so lots of Fredericton representation here, took a catch and run 100 yards for a touchdown.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
His twin brother, Sam, was the quarterback on that play. So Spencer Jowdry, which I believe is Coach Jowdry's son.
Yes.
So he's from St. John.
Yep.
He also had a touchdown pass to Tremblay. And Colin O'Donnell from St. John had a touchdown run as well. So again, 25-10, New Brunswick over Nova Scotia. Great job, guys, and great coaching. Coach Jowdry and Ray Perkin.
There you go.
The staff.
And any time New Brunswick goes up against Team Nova Scotia, it's a tough battle. And the fact that when you look at the population of our two provinces, Nova Scotia is a much bigger province from a population standpoint. So good job to those under 16s, and keep it up. And I'm not sure if you know, Andy, but these teams are getting ready to play in the national U16 and U18 championship. So if Moncton keeps on this pace, they're going to look good against the rest of the nation.
Absolutely.
Let's go over to under 18.
Let's do it.
Okay, because under 18, Team New Brunswick played Nova Scotia that day as well. They didn't come out with the same fortune that the under 16s did. They lost 27-7. Justin Vogels from Tantramar had the touchdown pass, and Daniel Bell from St. John High also had an interception and made several tackles in that game. So they lost this game, but it's only exhibition. They're getting ready, and they, if they keep pushing, they'll be ready for the Canada Cup.
Great
There
job,
you go.
guys. Yep.
So that's our football. Now, Andy, I've got a special treat for you, and I got a special treat for the viewers.
Okay.
Last week, we did a great Moncton Fisher Cats update. So this week, the Fisher Cats are actually off tonight, and the city of Moncton keeps this stadium locked down tight. It's tough to get in there. But tonight, our very own Jeannie B has snuck into the stadium, and she's about to give us an on-location update on what's going on with the Moncton Fisher Cats.
All right. Well, let's get it over to Jeannie right now.
Let's go over to Jeannie.
Thanks, guys. Jeannie B here, live from Kelly Field. You can see from behind, I snuck in. Don't tell anybody. I have your Moncton Fisher Cats update. So after 7 games, the Moncton Fisher Cat batting leaders are Steve Johnson. After 10 hits, is it after 10? After 10 hits, he's batting .435. Eric Hebert, he's batting .333. And Josh DeWitt, also batting .333. Isn't that awesome? They're both batting .333. I love it. So now let's move on to the pitchers. The leaders are, again, Steve Johnson. What's up with that? After 3 games, he's pitched 14 innings. He's allowed 9 hits, and he's had 16 strikeouts. That's pretty awesome. And his ERA is 1.50. So what's up with that? He's both the batting and pitching leader. I think that's really awesome. Way to go, Steve. And Sam Lund, who's also doing very well. Just so you all know, he's pitching 184. Standings, I can hand those off to you now. The standings are Chatham 6-2, Moncton's 4-3, St. John is 5-5, and Fredericton is 2-7. Fredericton, we got to get up there. And the home games, that's what's coming up next. The Fisher Cats are playing at home against Chatham on June 17th, back-to-back, June 18th against Chatham again, and on the 24th against Fredericton at Kelly Field. You have to come down here. I may not be sneaking around, but you'll have a lot of fun, so it's really important to come out and support your Moncton Fisher Cats. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Jeannie. Wow, Ray, did you see the twinkle in her eye talking about Steve Johnson?
She seems pretty impressed with this kid.
Oh, absolutely. Anyways, what do you say we move on to some rugby talk?
Let's talk some rugby. Are we going to be talking black tide rugby?
Black tide rugby.
Black tide rugby.
Both the men's and women's team. So both teams were playing against the St. John Trojans. The Moncton Black Tide men won 46-0.
46-0.
Wow. And the Moncton Black Tide women, they lost a close game, 28-24. Let me ask you something. If you had to go watch these games, would you prefer to see 46-0 or 28-24?
28-24 would be a pretty entertaining ball game.
Absolutely. Jessie McKay was the player of the match for the men, and Anna Dodge was named the player of the game for the women's game. So these two teams, again, will face off against St. John next Saturday, and that's at Hazen White School. I have an uncle named Hazen.
Really?
Yeah.
Hazen.
Yeah.
Here's a quick fun fact for you. Anna Dodge, I believe, was one of the players that played for the recent Bernice McNaughton High School Provincial Championship teams.
Okay.
And here she is playing on the women's team. So Great for Anna Dodge.
Great job, Anna.
All right. What else? Anything else with the rugby? Or?
No, that's it. Go out and support them at Hazen White School next week.
Next week. There you go.
Yep.
All right. Let's jump over to another sport, Andy. We're going to finish this segment up today with lacrosse.
I always love talking lacrosse.
The high school lacrosse championships just took place this past weekend. Now, after the regular season, the league's divided into two divisions for playoffs. Okay. They have the top four teams play in what's called the Shamrock division.
Shamrock, okay.
And the bottom four teams play in the Alka-Seltzer division.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. That last Ray name mess up gave me a bit of heartburn.
A little heartburn.
Yeah, it's actually the Excelsior division.
Excelsior. Yeah. My bad.
Definitely your bad.
All right. So let's get into the game. So the semifinal games, Moncton High School is playing against Caledonia in the first semifinal game. They won that game 4-3.
Nice.
So great job to Moncton High. The other semifinal was being played against Bernice McNaughton and Tantramar out of Sackville. Now, Tantramar, who has an unbelievable football program, not so much on the lacrosse program. Do you know why, Andy?
Why is that?
Because it was a forfeit.
Oh, no.
They didn't show.
Okay, well, that's one way to win one.
They must be out working on their football program right now because football's only a couple months away. So, Bernice McNaughton wins that game 1-0, putting Bernice McNaughton and Moncton High in the finals.
Nice.
For that Excelsior division. And Bernice McNaughton comes out on top 5-2.
Nice.
I know my daughter, Nikki Dunn's going to be going, woo, woo, woo. Way to go, Bernice McNaughton.
Yeah.
Over in the Shamrock division, Harrison Tremble was taking on Rearview High and won that game 8-7.
Oh, tight game.
And PEI, who plays in this division, was taking on Odyssey High School, one of the French schools here in Moncton, and wins that game 8-6.
Okay.
And in the final of the Shamrocks of the number one division in New Brunswick, the Harrison Tremble Trojans knocks off PEI 9-7 in overtime.
Wow, this was a really exciting championship, that's for sure. Wow.
That sounds really exciting. Yeah.
All right.
That's it, Andy.
That's it for the local sports update this week. Listen, get out to the Moncton Mustangs and Island Mariners game this weekend. We'll be there. Stop by and see us. We're not really sure where we're going to set up just yet, but we'll be around. You'll hear us. You'll see us.
And for those people that messaged me, that put comments on our Facebook, that wanted to see more of Jeannie B, you got what you wanted. You saw Jeannie B, and we'll be looking at some more on-site footage in the near future.
Awesome. All right, guys. Take care. We'll talk to you next week. I think I'll go get some Alka-Seltzer.
Have a great week. guy that can pitch and catch like that boy.
Why don't we talk?
Sorry. We're going to use that as a blooper now.
Oh yeah, we're going to start over.
I'm going to let it go because this is funny.
Oh yeah, just keep it going, but we're going to come back in here. If you do that again, I'm not going to get past it.
Okay, I need a second.
You have to think of something serious.
The league's divided into 2 divisions for playoffs.
Okay.
Okay. They have the top 4 teams play in what's called the Shamrock division.
Shamrock, okay.
And the bottom 4 teams play in the Alka-Seltzer division. Jump in there.
You'll be able to cut it out.
Don't worry, we'll do a quick cut when it comes back. All right.
Here we go.
All right. No, I gotta come back in, or we're gonna come right back in with me correcting you. So,
In the Alka-Seltzer division.
You don't have to say it again. We got it the first time. I'm crying. All right, here we go.
We're gonna finish this segment. We're gonna be in tears on camera. They're gonna be like, "What were those boys doing?"
All right,
Here we go.
sorry about that, guys. Listen, that's actually the Excelsior division, Ray.
So try that one more time. You're going to be able to. You're going to be able to use some of this.
Yeah.
I think you are. It's funny.
All right. All right. I'll be bringing it back in here.
Well, I gotta drop a line about heartburn. That's gonna be.
Yeah. Well, here, I'll try. I got a line for you. All right, ready? We're sorry about that, guys. Ray, it's actually the Excelsior division, the Shamrock division.
I need a break.